I'm in a house bored. I'm bored. I'm in a house bored. Hey guys, thank you very much for joining the live stream or for watching the recording. This is your immigration expert Jan, and I'll be answering your questions today about anything related to Czech immigration, or starting a business, or health insurance, or finding accommodation in the Czech Republic, any type of visas, residence permits, and everything in between. So, whenever you start joining, please start writing your questions in the chat, and I will start answering the questions. For those of you who don't follow me, I'm not that weird. I am that weird. Okay, I take it back. I'm that weird as much as you see. Fuck, my English, what? Do I speak English even? I don't know. Anyway, I am weird. So the beginning of the video was me, and that's how weird I am, but I usually don't show it on the live streams. So today I did. I don't know why, but now I will stick to the professional side and answering your question. I'm also pretty good in immigration to the Czech Republic and everything related to that. So let's go. European dreams. Hi, I want to study PhD in Pardubice. Please guide me. That's kind of like a very broad topic. You would need to. I can't find the professors on university website. I think you will need to specify a bit more your question. Please guide me is kind of like not a question. That would be like a topic for 7 hours of talking, and I will be here only for 20 minutes. So please specify your question. Oishik Chakraborty, I got my appointment for 12th of February, so I have a question. Can I give soft copy of translated documents as I've still not received the hard copies? No. Of course, it depends on what you're applying for, but everything must be original documents, not scans, not copies, nothing like that. So you must have original documents. If you're applying for a visa and you don't have original documents, they will not accept the application and you've wasted an appointment and you have to try again. If you're applying for a residence permit, if you go there and you know the law, then they have to accept the application, but they will give you a letter saying that these documents are not acceptable and you have this amount of days to fix it. So either way, I would recommend getting the original documents to you before the appointment. Dhaval Parmar, will you help me prepare a request of measures against inactivity to MOI? We can do that for sure. My question is on admission, how to get admission in the university. Honestly, I don't know, because every university has different admission process. Generally speaking, you need to choose the university, then submit some application, usually pass some exams, and then you get the admission. But every university have different deadlines, might have different process. So you really need to follow the guidelines of the university you're trying to get into. Grace Simba, I submitted my documents for TRC renewal, but I have not gotten it. I'm asking if I'm allowed to work with the confirmation document as in the waiting confirmation. First of all, what you mean by TRC? Do you mean temporary residence? What? Now, TRC, what do you mean by TRC? Rahul King, hello brother, where are you from? I'm from India. I'm from the Czech Republic, an immigration expert to the Czech Republic. Vasif Khan, my husband works in Czechia and I'm applying for long-term family visa for 1 year. Should I say in interview that I will return back after 1 year, try to prove it during interview? Well, kind of depends if it's true or not. You should definitely not lie during the interview. On the other hand, 1 year might be okay, but if you said that you only want to stay for 3 months, then they would most likely not even give you the visa because you don't need a long-term visa for 3 months stay. So you're applying for a family reunification, you should want to stay here with your husband. So I would not be saying anything else, but definitely you should not lie during the interview. Adrian Perchtold, I guess that's some green laughing box, whatever that means. Oishik Chakraborty, I have a bank loan section letter to fund my studies. Do I also need to submit my bank statement to stay in a safer side? Not really sure what you mean by like loan sanction letter, that you will submit a document saying that you got a loan to apply for the visa. If that's what you're saying, I would probably not do that. Like loan is better than a credit card, but you must have your own money to support yourself, and you need to have access to the money during the whole time. If you have a credit card, that's not your money. So the bank can anytime change their mind and they close the credit card, you have no money. So credit card would not work for sure. Getting a confirmation that you got a loan, it's still a loan. So if the bank says, hey, you need to return the money tomorrow, they can do that, at least in the Czech Republic. Not sure how it is in your country, but it's not your money either. So I would probably try to avoid that, transfer it to your checking account, get a statement from there, and that's the easiest thing to do. Temporary residence card, but temporary residence, you mean like a family member of an EU citizen, that you are a non-EU citizen and your husband or wife or your spouse is an EU citizen? Navin do Archana, I have a long-term visa valid until August and I'm interested in purchasing a used scooter. Could you please provide information on the required documents and how to prepare them? You mean like for purchasing the scooter, or documents for what exactly do you mean? And scooter, you mean like a motorcycle, or scooter like the Lime thingy that runs all around the city? Nocturnal friend, I'm transgender woman from Asia. How can I live with my Czech boyfriend in, where is it? Now, okay. In Czech Republic, we've been for 4 years. Can I get partnership visa? Yeah, if you've been together for 4 years, but it also depends on what you mean being together. If you mean that you like only talk online, like through Messenger for the whole 4 years and you've seen each other once, that will probably not work out. If you've lived together for months or years, if you visited each other, if you traveled to each other, you know each other's families and you have mutual friends, you have a bank statement or like bank account together, you transfer money to each other, that's definitely possible. Then it just depends on how complicated it will be, and that depends on the country of your origin. But technically, yeah, we've had all the different combinations of genders and everything, so I don't see a problem there, but it depends on how stable or like how long-term and how serious is your relationship. That's the most important part. Motorcycle, well, the question is, if you have a long-term visa, if you can register the motorcycle, because you will have to register it in your name. And I'm actually not sure if you can get the motorcycle registered under a long-term visa. So that's something I would need to verify, or you need to verify, because I'm not really sure if you can do that under a long-term visa. No problem with a long-term residence permit, no problem with like EU registration certificate, all that, but I'm not sure about long-term visa. Another thing is if the scooter, like how strong it is, if you need a driver's license, and if you have it, and if you can use it in the Czech Republic, because not like foreign driver's licenses not always can be used in the Czech Republic just like so. You at least need the international driver's license, which you should exchange for a Czech one at some point anyway. So that might be a bit more complex question, but I don't think I am the right person to answer all that. Motolani Olarungbon. How do you get biometrics appointment booking for long-term visa from Nigeria when you already have work papers? Not sure what you mean by biometrics appointment. If you have work papers, you mean probably like an employment contract from a Czech company. Most likely you will never get an appointment for that at the Czech embassy, because there are quotas, how many people can apply yearly, and the quota is very low. I checked that last live stream, I think, so go back to my previous live stream and check that. And I think, I don't remember, but I think it was 0 in Abuja. so you cannot get an appointment. And I say it all the times, every live stream, don't pay anyone for work permits or employment contracts or work papers or whatever you call it before you verify that you can actually get an appointment and you can use the documents. But people still do it. They've lost like a couple €1,000. And yeah, I don't know. Like, guys, share these videos. I've done a million videos about that, and every live stream there is still like so many people saying I have a work permit, I cannot get an appointment, what's wrong? I don't know. I don't know what to do more about that. Just, guys, don't pay anyone. If you're from Africa, if you're from Asia, don't pay anyone to get a work permit, because you will never get an appointment anyway. So just choose a different country, choose Poland or some other country where it's actually possible to get a visa. In the Czech Republic, it's not really possible. It is, but it's very, very complicated for most people. Anil CS, hello, I'm a master degree student. I have a semester left until graduation. Can I work full-time until graduation with my student residence permit? It depends. If you're an official student, meaning you study an accredited program, which you should, seems like that. If you're a master student, you should also have a sentence written on your residence card which says free access to the labor market, yes. Volný vstup na trh práce, ano. If that says it, then you can work full time, but you still need to fulfill your school requirements. Because if you don't, then you stop being a student and then you stop having the free access to the labor market, so you cannot work. So you can combine both, but you have to study primarily. Even if it's just like a graduation, whatever you need to do, you have to do that. If you mean that you've already passed all the exams and now you're just waiting for a diploma, that would be a completely different situation, because then you should definitely switch to the job seeker residence permit as soon as possible. Chamuki Bazuki, Jan, are you doing anything fun this weekend? I don't do anything normally. What's considered by normal people by fun? On Saturday, probably I'll reply around 100 emails, which I consider fun. Most people don't. And yeah, so definitely nothing fun in the standard people's sense or meaning. Being Human 96. I got an appointment in April. I'm from India. How for long-term work visa? What do you mean that you got an appointment in April for long-term work visa? What do you mean by long-term work visa, and how did you get the appointment? Let me know. Alan Kadir, hello please, is Iraqi driving license could be exchanged to Czech driving license? I have permanent residence. It depends on what the driver's license looks like. If it's, because there are two agreements. One is Vienna and the other one is Geneva, I think, conventions or agreements. And if there are some countries who sign those agreements or those conventions, and then those countries should issue driver's licenses in accordance to the guidelines of that treaty or that agreement. If they did, then they would be interchangeable. So you could come to the Czech Republic and exchange it easily for the Czech one. But even countries that sign those don't always follow the rules, so you cannot exchange it. And if you didn't sign it, or if the country didn't sign it, you cannot exchange it at all. So I would need to see it to tell you exactly. But Iraqi, probably I would say it's not gonna happen. But I would need to see it, because what you can do easily is basically like find someone who has the Czech one, take yours, and if they look the same or very similar, most likely it will work out. If they look completely different, then it's not gonna work out. Nocturnal friend, he visited me 7 times already here in Asia, and visited him last month. I wonder if it's not complicated to live there as a transgender woman. I don't think I'm too qualified to answer that. Yeah, there are plenty of I don't think it's a problem. That's what I would say, because there is a big community of, I'm not sure if it's like, what are all the numbers, like LGBT, but this is already more than that, so it's like, I don't know. But yeah, I sound like a stupid person now, I think. Sorry for that. Just the point is, I don't see a problem with that. Said Akramuddin, any website or books? How to learn Czech language? Okay. Yeah, get in touch. We work with 2 or 3 schools. One of them is basically all online. The others have physical locations. So I will be happy to send you links to all of them, and you can see what works the best for you. I think the owl, like will kill me now. I would definitely not use Duolingo though, because the sentences you learn there are very useful. Like, my rooster can speak 7 apples. I don't know. Apps like this, probably not, but there are definitely schools where you can go and learn. Anil CS, thanks a lot for your answer. Your videos are being a great help. Happy to hear that. Happy to hear that. Today, this is a weird video, but I guess that's being human. Yeah, sorry for the reference, being human 96. My company booked embassy appointment in Delhi for me. Yeah, no, of course, that's the only way how to do that. If your employer is part of one of the governmental programs, the skilled employee or like qualified employee or highly skilled employee, then you can get an appointment, but you usually need to wait for many months for that to happen anyway. But if your employer is not part of the governmental program, the quota is 0 in most countries and you will never get an appointment. So yeah, if you find an employer which is part of the governmental program, it's possible. But in that case, the employer, even the employer doesn't book it, they just request it, and then the embassy contacts you directly and tells you when to come. Mairma Agrakaoili. I'm mispronouncing all your names, guys, I know. I'm sorry for that. Hello, Sriyan, my residence card was approved this January and I'm going to pick it up from ministry on 5th February. I want to ask do I still need to pay for the stamps? You paid, of course, I don't know what you applied for. When did you apply? What's the situation? But generally you pay when you're submitting your application. So you've most likely already paid, so you don't need anything else. I still also remember times when you paid half of the fee in advance and then you paid half when you were picking the card up, and that was very like weird. So but that hasn't been around for years. So if you paid in the beginning, then you don't need to pay anything else. Mehmet Kenan Usta, hello Jana, I'm waiting my partnership visa application like 5 months. It's normal. Yeah, it's completely normal. They have 60 days, but if it's done within 6 months, that's good. So yeah, that's normal. Said Akramuddin, how to learn Czech language, any website or books? I answered that couple minutes ago. Yasin Jadidi, good evening. I'm citizen from 3rd country. I have temporary residence valid for 3 years as a family member of Czech citizen. Me and my girlfriend, we find jobs in other EU country. My question is, if I can work in other EU country, and what the steps I need to need a work permit? Thank you. Nope, you cannot work anywhere else than in the Czech Republic, because the temporary residence permit is only valid for the Czech Republic. So what you could potentially do is that you get a trade license and you will be invoicing your services to companies outside of the Czech Republic, but the Czech residence permit does not allow you to live in any other country, and it doesn't allow you to work there either. So if you wanted to work there, you would need to move there together with your girlfriend, and then you would need to apply for a new residence permit in that country. Being human, I already reacted to that as well. Yuri Truci, where do I ask for a Czech driver's license? My Brazilian driver license is very similar to Czech one, and we are in Vienna agreement. With Brazil, I think it's pretty interesting because Brazil, until like 2 years ago, you were still part of the Vienna agreement, but you were not issuing the driver's licenses in accordance to that. So like until 2 years ago, Brazilian driver's license were not able, or it wasn't possible to exchange them to Czech ones. But then it changed, so the new formats can be exchanged. So in Prague, you need to go to Vyšehrad. There is a register of drivers, and you go there and you get it exchanged there. I've done a video about that as well. So if you go to my channel, wherever, I still don't know where you need to click to get there. If you search for driver's license, I believe I list also the address and everything there. Grace Simba, I submitted my documents for the renewal of my employee card and it's not out yet. Can I work with the confirmation document or is it not possible? Yeah, if you're extending an employee card, then as long as you submit it in time, then you're under a fiction of residence, which means you can stay here and you can keep working at the same position. A problem would be to change employers now. It's doable, possible, but it would be a bit tricky. But if you work at the same position, yeah, you can work no problem. Is there a chance my visa can be approved within a month if it's a government program? Yes, that's possible. The governmental programs approvals should come pretty swiftly. I'm not saying it always works that way, but yes. We have a client, like a company we work with, and they're part of the program, and one of their employees had to wait like 17 months or something to even get the appointment. But then once he applied, then it was very, very swift. So it's I don't know. I will not comment on this because I just don't understand the system. But yeah, you can get approved pretty swiftly. That's one of the advantages of the programs, that if you get the appointment at some point, then you can get approved pretty swiftly. Safe Haven. Hi Jan, please, how can I get an OAM number for my application? I only have ZOV. I wish to have the OAM so that I can check because the ZOV portal doesn't seem to work. The only way to get it is through the Ministry of the Interior. You can either, the easiest is to call them. Might be a bit difficult to do if you're not in the Czech Republic, but you can potentially call them and ask. You could try to request it through the embassy, but the embassy does not know until or unless the ministry lets them know, because they don't make the decision. So they would need to request it for you and then let you know, which they will probably not do. Or you could also send some official request, like a letter, but that's questionable as well. Alan Kadir, another different question, sir. Is that possible to invite my parents to Czech Republic with Czech permanent residence? You can invite them for up to 3 months, but that's about it. If you have both parents alive, the family reunification does not really apply to them. You can only bring parents like for a long period of time if they're solitary. So if either they are divorced or one of your parents is dead. If you have both parents alive, they're still together, the family reunification does not really apply. Being Human, I subscribed. Thank you very much. Hopefully the channel will give you what you're looking for. Information about Czech immigration and everything. Gresa Simba, thanks. Yuri Truci, you are awesome. Thank you. Guys, like the live stream. That's the spirit, Yuri. Thank you. Omar, hello Jan, I applied for a student visa on December 5th and got called for a second interview 3 days ago. When do you think I would have the final decision? Depends on what's the decision and how you pass the interview. So it depends on what's the decision, and that depends on how you pass the interview. If you say something stupid, then it will probably take a bit longer because they will need to write the denial letter and reasoning. If you reply, fine, everything will be okay, then the decision should come pretty swiftly. It's like, I've answered a comment like that just before the live stream, I think on Facebook or my TikTok or something. I'm everywhere, guys, as well. So if you want to follow me somewhere else for shorter videos, do that. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. But I think I answered one question on TikTok. It was the same. And the thing is that you never know. It's different for every person. But generally, I would say if you pass the interview well, usually when they do interview, it's to verify something. Something you said in the previous interview, or something they find out or found out during the approval process, or something in your documents. So as long as you clarify that and you answer that fine, you should be approved pretty swiftly, like 2-3 weeks. If the answers are not really that great, it might take longer. Bogdan Soroka, do you work with Ukrainians who have permanent residency in Poland? I want to get a business visa in the Czech Republic. I'm a freelancer, want to relocate to the Czech Republic. Yeah, potentially, yes. I would need to see what kind of, like if it's a permanent residency, like the status of permanent resident and ideally long-term resident of the EU, then you can come to the Czech Republic and you can potentially get a trade license even before you come here, an active trade license. And then you come here and you go directly to the Ministry of the Interior and you submit an application for a residence permit as a long-term resident of the EU or a permanent resident of some other EU country. And that can work out. But you must really have like a permanent residence permit and ideally with the status of the long-term resident of the EU. Being human, thanks for replying. It means a lot. My pleasure. Good luck. So hopefully it will be approved soon and you'll be in the Czech Republic. Tranlock, is it possible to invite both my parents and parents-in-law to visit Czech Republic and Italy as long-term residence permit holder work purpose? Well, it kind of depends, because it's a bit complex question. Because it's with the immigration, you always ask a question. It's like, can I do this? And my answer usually is, it depends. And it might sound strange that like I don't want to answer it or whatever, but it really depends. And usually it's a pretty complicated topic and depends on many small things potentially. So inviting your parents is possible because you're trying to invite them only for like vacation. So that's a different situation than the previous question when you want to invite parents like to live here, which is not really possible. But for short-term stays, you can do that. You can go to the foreign police and you can get an invitation letter. You send the invitation letter to your parents, and then your parents apply for a short-term visa based on the invitation letter. That's completely normal. We do it pretty often with our clients. Question is, if the visa they will get will be valid for the whole Schengen area or only for the Czech Republic, because both is possible. Depends if they have been here before, if everything went fine, the previous stays here, all that. So if they get like a Schengen visa just issued by the Czech Republic, they can travel anywhere, and you can travel to Italy, it's all right. But if they get just like a Czech Republic specific visa, then they cannot travel anywhere. So hopefully this answers a bit. Omar, most of the questions were about why I want to study in the Czech and my university. Yes, that's the most common things, because it's kind of weird. You know, a lot of people fake these applications. They just find some school, they enroll, and they don't really care about the studies there. They just want to get an EU visa or residence permit. And that's kind of abusing of the system, and the ministry does not approve such applications. So they ask you these kind of questions to verify if you're really interested in studying the program or not. Sometimes they deny the applications just because they don't think you are like real, which you might be, but they can deny it anyway. Sometimes it's really like that, because it's kind of a common fact that, or widely known fact, that the student visa application is the easiest type of visa to get in the Czech Republic, other than the family reunification, let's say. So many people abuse it, And that what will make it more complicated for everyone to get a student visa. So now even like real students might have difficult time to, or hard time to get the student visa, because there are many people who fake the applications and then they spoil the system for everyone else. So this is kind of how it works. Willis, Juma, Huma, Yuma, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it properly. What must the study confirmation letter contain in order to be accepted by the embassy? It's a good question. Definitely must be original, so not just something they send you via email or scan or PDF or whatever. Must be original. So it must be stamped and signed, wet ink signatures, wet ink stamps. Second, must be in Czech. Third, cannot be older than 180 days. 4, must state the program you will be studying, and if it's an accredited program, then also with the code of the program, and then duration of the studies, ideally some exact dates that you will be studying from like 1st of September 2025 until whatever date there. That's, I think, the most important. Tranlock, thank you very much. You're the best. Liked, subscribed. Thank you very much as well for joining. Musone Steven, how long does PR take to be approved? Thanks. Officially 60 days, unofficially as long as the ministry wants. Filipino Czech family, hi Jan, I'm British citizen and want to go out of the country, and my application for temporary residence permit is still in progress, but my visa type D is expired already. What should I do? Kind of depends. My favorite answer. But if you're a British citizen, once your long-term visa expires, which is I guess that's the bridging visa, if you applied for the temporary residence permit, if you applied for a bridging visa that expired, then you still have the 90 days, the visa-free stay after the visa expires. So you should technically have no problems traveling if you stay within the 90 days allowance. If you wanted to be sure that there will be no problems, you can go for another bridging visa. They will issue it on the spot, and then you're completely fine to travel wherever you want. And Engineer Leban, Omar, which intake are you? So there is some communication between engineer and someone else. But guys, again, I promised 20 minutes. It's 32 already, so I'll be leaving. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you. That is really clear answer. Happy to hear that. That's how I try to answer, but it doesn't always work like that. Thank you guys. Vasif Khan, thank you as well for joining. And I'll see you again, guys, Monday, Thursday, until the end of the world. Bye-bye.